Hello there and welcome to another edition of Robot Wars Unveiled. This time we're going to have a look at Series 6 Heat H, not the best episodes in the world. I hope you enjoy, if you can. This heat included Ming 3 keeping up its sequence of reaching the second round of an even-numbered series, and the robot who knocked it out being beaten in its next battle. Growler was involved in the Heat final for the first time. This was the only episode of Series 6 not to have a picture from at least one battle featured in an issue of the Robot Wars, the official magazine. When talking about Hot Pants in the first melee, Jonathan Pierce said that the team's previous entry, Pandemonium, was defeated by Napalm in Series 3, when this actually occurred in Series 2. After the Heat final, Craig Charles said that Spawn Again was through to the Heat semi-finals, when he was meant to say the Heat Series semi-finals. However, when interviewing the team later on, he did ask the team if they could repair their robot in time for the semis, meaning the series semi-finals. The initial concept drawing of the Hassocks Hog had a biting mouth and sharp tusks. The Hassocks Hog is the second robot named after its hometown, the first being Flensburger Power. Upon its completion, the Hassocks Hog was test-driven in the playground of the team's local school. The Hassocks Hog was the only robot from its melee to be a newcomer, while Short Circuit was the only newcomer in its melee. Thanks to his father, Nathaniel Pote, of Team Short Circuit, owns one of the 10-point barrels from Series 2, possibly making it the only pinball barrel left in existence, as the others were recycled. Short Circuit was the only robot from Heat H to be entered by a team which did not appear in another episode or series. However, it did try to compete in Series 3, 4, 5, and 8. Coincidentally, the other robot to lose in Hot Pants' only fight, the Hassocks Hog, was also from West Sussex, and also had pants painted on the machine. The judges deciding to put Spam through to the second round in spite of being pitted before the Hassocks Hog could be counted out is sometimes cited as a matter of inconsistency in Robot Wars, as it conflicts with other examples on the show where the fully immobilized machine would not be reinstated by the judges. Ming 3's victory over the Hassocks Hog in Series 6 was essentially a vengeance battle because, in its qualifier ahead of the same series, Ming 3 and the Hassocks Hog fought each other, with the Hassocks Hog winning the melee. In the first two appearances in the main competition, Supernova fought in Heat H and went up against a seeded machine in the first round. The Short Circuit team attempted to qualify for Series 3 and 4 with Natter Patter Bot, which was basically the same robot as Short Circuit. In Series 4 it faced Atomic, where it was won by ramming Atomic and pitting it, but it still failed to qualify. In Series 5, Short Circuit was armed with a chainsaw and failed to qualify, while in the Series 6 qualifiers it faced a robot that resembled Mammoth from BattleBots, but with a horizontal spinner that battered it. Despite this, Short Circuit qualified. In the 6 Wars qualifiers, the Hassocks Hog and Ming 3 fought each other, as well as Revolution 2 and Devil's Rider. Here, Ming 3 immobilized Devil's Rider, but then became immobile itself. Revolution 2 then bashed Hassocks Hog, but the weapon became bent. Eventually, the Hassocks Hog won on a judge's decision. Hot Pants was originally called Big Pants, as it was meant to resemble a large version of their Antweight Pants. Big Pants attempted to qualify for Series 4, where it faced Edgehog, and won the match. Despite impressing producers, it was deemed worryingly unreliable, and thus failed to qualify. Big Pants also tried to fight in Series 5, where it also failed to qualify there. Hot Pants' 6 Wars qualifier was against an unknown opponent, which it lost. Despite this, it was considered entertaining and qualified. Spam was originally built for Series 5, but withdrew, and in the 6th Wars qualifiers it faced Chronic, the Navy's version of Megahertz, and Present Danger, where Chronic dominated this match. Despite this, Chronic and Spam both qualified. Supernova faced Megamorg and Behemoth, where both Megamorg and Supernova broke down and Behemoth scooped them up and out. Despite this, Supernova and Behemoth qualified. And that is it for today. Series 6 Heat H was on my worst list. Now, mind you, my top 10 worst list, the bottom half was the episodes which I could just interchange with anything else, really. And this one was in the bottom half of the worst 10, but it is easily the worst episode of Series 6. Basically, Spawn Again wins by doing nothing. That is essentially the episode. Spawn Again is an unreliable trash robot. I'm just going to be blunt about it. I've never really liked Spawn Again. I think it's quite an ugly robot as well, except for the Extreme 1 version with that nice little red look to it, but here it's just so unreliable and it won through doing jack shit, basically. It did nothing in the second round, and Spam basically opened up the pit and pitted itself, basically, which, Spam could have easily won that by just moving around the arena while Spawn Again sat immobile. It basically got lucky in the Heat final, getting that flip in on Supernova and winning that way. But, it's like sometimes when it comes to luck on robots, luck can be one of two ways. It can be really infuriating, like here with Spawn Again, or it can be something that's like, holy shit, that's really amazing, that's fantastic, like with Nuts against Carbide, or Bigger Brother against Hypnodisc. Those are good examples, because at least in those examples, Nuts was continuously fighting, and so was Carbide for that matter, pitted Behemoth and then took out Carbide afterwards. And with Bigger Brother and Hypnodisc, Bigger Brother may have been smashed to pieces, but it kept on going, it kept on fighting, and it got lucky. And I just feel like with Spawn Again here, it did nothing and got lucky, and it just isn't very entertaining. The robots themselves in this heat are a mixed bag. You get some like Ming and Tiberius and obviously Supernova all being very famous and very popular robots, but then you also have some others like Short Circuit, which let's be honest, is not the most memorable robot in the series. It is of course memorable because of the fact that the team are still active to this day, and of course we got loads of information from the team. They of course have the Series 2 barrel and all that, and so it is obviously because of that. Maybe Short Circuit does have that bit of a fanfare, but at the same time, I just don't know. This episode just isn't very good. The battles aren't very interesting. Like, the best battle is the first Supernova melee, and that's about it. Everything else is just kind of shit. The robots aren't the most interesting in the world, and they either just fail when they could have worked really well. This episode is just a big skip in my opinion. Like, just skip it. Just skip it entirely. It is a bad episode. It is easily the worst episode of Series 6. So let's have a look at what we're going to get next time around. So we get Series 4 Heat A next. This is a much better episode by a long shot. I'm so glad about getting another Series 4 episode, even though we're going through a lot of Series 4 episodes in this series of roles Unveiled. I guess you could call it a series. But yes, I hope to see you next time around.